Assalamu alaikum dear students. I am Dr. Shahjabeen and today's lecture topic is excitation, contraction, coupling. That is the events that link the excitation with the mechanical phenomena of contraction. These are lecture objectives. At the end of the lecture, you would be able to explain the parts of the sarcotubular system with T tubule and L tubule, explain the process of excitation contraction coupling with the role of T tubules in it, and describe the muscle relaxation. This slide shows you sarcotubular system. You know the cell membrane of muscle is known as sarcolemma and the endoplasmic reticulum as sarcoplasmic reticulum. Both of these together form a highly specialized system in the muscle fiber, and that is known as sarcotubular system. The sarcotubular system primarily consists of transverse tubule. Here you can see transverse tubule and the longitudinal tubules or L tubules. Now come to the transverse tubules. These are the tubules that are present transversely to the muscle fiber or myofibril, running across the muscle fiber. This is transverse tubule or T tubules. T tubules communicate outside with the sarcolemma. Here you can see communicating outside with the sarcolemma. This is sarcolemma. And deep in the muscle fiber and communicating deep in the muscle fiber. Actually, these T tubules are the extensions of cell membrane or sarcolemma that penetrates deep into the muscle fiber. Now, the longitudinal sarcoplasmic reticulum or L tubules. It is a closed tubular system. Here you can see that running along the long axis of myofibril. That is running along the long axis of myofibrils, and these do not open to the exterior. T tubules or T system is formed by the invagination of sarcolemma into the muscle fiber. Here you can see in the picture, here this is the through and through or transverse invagination of the sarcolemma into the muscle fiber, forming transverse tubule that communicate with the exterior, here with the ECF. It is located in the region of junction of A and I bands. You know the structure of the skeletal muscle. This is I band, this is A band, and at the junction of A and I band, here present T tubule. The function of the T tubule is they conduct action potential from the sarcolemma to the interior of the muscle cell or myofibril. T tubules contain voltage gated channels called dihydropyridine receptors. This T tubule, the membrane of the T tubule contain, remember these receptors are voltage gated channels, dihydropyridine channels. Longitudinal sarcoplasmic reticulum or L tubule is the name given to the sarcoplasmic reticulum that run along long axis of muscle fiber. Here you can see this is longitudinal sarcoplasmic reticulum forming a closed tubular system around each myofibril. Now this L tubule on either side of the T tubule have dilated ends, and these ends are known as terminal cisterns. Here you can see this is T tubule and on either side of it, two terminal cisterns lying in the close proximity constitute a triad. And this triad is located at the junction of A and I band. A and I band. Here you can see the triad is located. There are two triads in each sarcomere. Here you can see 1 and 2. Now the function of the longitudinal tubule is they store a large quantity of calcium ions that would be needed for the contraction. These L tubules possess calcium channels. Here you can see this is longitudinal tubule, terminal cistern. Here some channels are present. These are calcium channels and these are known as ryanodine receptors. These channels are not voltage gated. Now, what is process of excitation, contraction, coupling? This is the process by which an action potential in the plasma membrane, or you can say sarcolemma, of a muscle fiber leads to contraction. Or you can say that when the action potential is produced in the muscle fiber and you know it is transmitted by neuromuscular junction. The events that connect this excitation from the nerve and the neuromuscular junction and leads to the contraction events or the mechanical events in the muscle is known as, the whole process is known as process of excitation, contraction, coupling. Now, during the sequence of events of this process, first is always nerve excitation. Here you can see at number 1, nerve excitation. Then this excitation is transmitted to the muscle, that is known as neuromuscular transmission at NMJ. You have done it in detail. At the motor end plate, here end plate potential is developed that causes the excitation of the muscle, generating action potential in the fiber. You can see at number 2. Now this action potential is propagated in the muscle fiber from the sarcolemma deep into the muscle fiber through T tubules. And you know, these T tubules are the invagination of this sarcolemma into the muscle fiber. So the action potential propagates from the sarcolemma into the muscle fiber and the muscle is excited. Now when the action potential reaches the T tubule, it activates the voltage gated channels. And you know which channels are present at the T tubule? Yes, dihydropyridine channels or receptors. Now these dihydropyridine receptors are mechanically interlocked with ryanodine receptors. And you know where the ryanodine receptors are present? These are present at the terminal cistern of L tubule. Here you can see in the picture, whenever the dihydropyridine receptors are activated due to the action potential, as they are voltage gated, these receptors trigger the opening of ryanodine receptors. And these ryanodine receptors are calcium channels. These are being actually pulled open by the dihydropyridine receptors. And when these calcium channels are open, then what happened? Calcium is released from this store into the sarcoplasm. Due to the release of calcium ions from the terminal cistern of the L tubule and diffusion of calcium into the sarcoplasm, you can see at number 4 here, the concentration of calcium is increased in the ICF. Now this calcium is get attached to the troponin protein of thin filament at troponin C subunit, causing chain of events which initiate the muscle contraction. These events you will do in detail in the next lecture of molecular basis of muscle contraction. In this way, the excitation of the muscle is linked or coupled with the contraction. Remember, the calcium ions act as linking or coupling agent between excitation and contraction. Within a few milliseconds of the action potential, the calcium pump transports calcium ions back into the longitudinal sarcoplasmic reticulum, where a special protein, calsequestrin, binds it. Here you can see after depolarization, calcium channels are closed, ryanodine channels, and calsequestrin proteins bind the calcium ions with it. This active transport of calcium back into the L tubule causes the decreased concentration of calcium in the sarcoplasm. Here you can see at number 6, due to which there is removal of calcium from the troponin C, leading to the cessation of muscle contraction, which in turn causes the relaxation of muscle fiber. The total duration of the presence of this calcium, that is calcium pulse, in the skeletal muscle fiber lasts about only 1/20th of a second. During this calcium pulse, muscle contraction occurs. Afterwards, calcium is pumped back into the longitudinal sarcoplasmic reticulum by the calcium pump that is ATP dependent. Thank you, students. This is my email address for your queries and the reference books names.